Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our panel today for being here. Time and time again, John Koskinen, the head of the IRS, has asserted, quote, "We produced all the emails," end quote. He also has asserted numerous times, quote, "We spent a significant amount of time trying to provide all of the information we had," end quote. Mr. Fitton, do you know approximately when John Koskinen made these claims?
He made them repeatedly over the last few years, and the IRS generally has been making similar claims in court, saying they've looked everywhere they needed to look and there's nothing else to be found. And just recently, the IRS acknowledged there was a category of at least a group of at least 7,000 or so documents that they needed to search in response to one of our Freedom of Information Act lawsuits about improper auditing that they hadn't searched. And these were records not only responsive to Judicial Watch's FOIAs, but my understanding is would have been responsive to congressional investigations on those subject matters.
How long has it taken to receive these? When did he make these claims that we've turned over all the emails?
Well, the IRS told us that they didn't need this, that they were done searching and there was nothing else to be found reasonably a year and a half ago. We've been fighting on this very issue about where they were needed to search for many years, though, since the scandal was first uncovered in 2013. And we've been faced with nothing but obstruction.
7,000 emails.
There's another group.
18 months later. Is that correct?
And we don't know when we're going to get all those responsive records yet either.
Why, in your opinion, Mr. Fitton, is this significant?
Well, we need to know that our tax agency is being used for lawful purposes, and we need to have the laws protect us in that regard in terms of assuring that's occurring. And that one of the key laws, one of the few ones that the citizens can use, is the Freedom of Information Act. It doesn't allow us to get access to anyone's individual tax returns, but we can get access to decision-making about their policies and such. And to get that information out has been required extraordinary legal efforts.
Do you think the IRS commissioner was lying when he said, "We produced all the emails, we've spent a significant amount of time to provide all the information we have"? Do you think he was lying?
Well, I'm sure they spent a lot of time, but they didn't produce all the emails. And the IRS commissioner specifically made the decision not to inform Congress for several months about a major issue they had with email production, specifically with relation to Lois Lerner and the fact that emails from her were not backed up or were backed up, and depending on what time of day it was, they got a different story out of the IRS. But the commissioner was not forthcoming with Congress for months on that issue.
Not forthcoming. We call it something different in Iowa, but I'll accept that. So, Mr. Fitton, nearly 5 years after Lois Lerner preempted the Inspector General with a planted question that the IRS was in fact targeting people for their political beliefs, still 18 months later, no one has been held accountable, and documents are apparently still outstanding, correct?
It's longer than 18 months. It's 2013, and we're now going into 2017. So it's 4 years, and we're still waiting for documents on that issue.
This is exactly why transparency is so important. It's exactly why this hearing is important. It should not take years of FOIA requests, congressional investigations, and court battles for Americans to get answers. The folks in my district applaud when I say no one, including no one in Washington, D.C., is above the law.
Amen.
Thank you for your testimony. I yield back my time.
Thank you.
Thank you.